Three sons were born to rule, yet only one could sit on the throne.
Why?
This is the story of fate, curses, and destiny. How Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura were born, and how their fates shaped the Mahabharata. After the tragic death of King Vichitravirya, the mighty kingdom of Hastinapura had no heir. The throne stood empty, and fear gripped the royal court. Ministers whispered to another, "The kingdom cannot survive without a ruler. We must act fast." Satyavati determinedly said,
I have a solution. There is one man who can save our lineage.
In desperation, Satyavati called upon her hidden son, Vyasa, the great sage who had once been born to her in secret. She sent a silent prayer, and deep in the forests, Vyasa heard her call. Vyasa calmly said, "Mother, I have returned. What is it that you ask of me?" Satyavati said,
The Kuru dynasty must survive. You must father children for the royal lineage.
In ancient times, a custom called Niyoga allowed a great sage to bless a royal lineage with heirs. But this was not an easy choice for the widowed queens, Ambika and Ambalika. Ambika whispered to Ambalika,
A sage, a forest-dwelling ascetic, how can we agree to this?
Satyavati firmly said.
This is the only way to save Hastinapura.
The ritual was performed. But what followed was not what Satyavati expected. Ambika, terrified by Vyasa's wild appearance, closed her eyes and saw her son, Dhritarashtra, was born blind. Ambalika, pale with fear, trembled and saw her son, Pandu, was born weak and sickly. Seeing the failure, Satyavati asked Vyasa to try again, but this time, the maidservant, calm and accepting, took part. She bore Vidura, the wisest of all, yet destined to never rule. When Satyavati saw the results, her heart sank. A blind prince, a weak prince, and a wise one who could never be king. The fate of Hastinapura was sealed not by war, but by fear, karma, and destiny itself. Minister whispered, "The blind one cannot rule. The weak one may not survive. And the wisest is not of royal blood." Satyavati softly said,
It was meant to save the kingdom, but have we doomed it instead?
The practice of Niyoga was an ancient tradition meant to preserve royal bloodlines. But this event shows how deeply fear, hesitation, and past karma influenced the fate of empires. What can we learn from this legendary tale? 1. Fear influences fate. Ambika and Ambalika's reactions shaped their children's destinies. 2. Karma is inescapable. The Kuru dynasty suffered because of past mistakes, proving that actions have consequences. 3. Wisdom is greater than power. Vidura was the wisest, yet never became king, a lesson in leadership and intelligence over birthright. Was it fate or fear that shaped the future of Mahabharata? Should Vidura have been king instead? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Epics to Ethos for more legendary stories and learnings from our ancient history.